I'm gonna just like fix your phone, microphone, and feel comfortable. Okay.
I'm good here?
Move around, you can, you can be laid back. Or like
Yeah, so I have freedom of movement. My name is Maria del Mar Gonzalez. I am an artist based in New York City. I am from Puerto Rico, born and raised. I am a pole dancer. I am an actress, a content creator, and yeah, I think that's pretty much what's up with me. So I was in this abusive relationship, and I think I was looking for something, to feel alive. Like I had stopped dancing in that time. I was always a dancer, so I was always a dancer, and it was this time in my life where I was not doing really anything, and I stumbled into this video on YouTube. Felix Kane, which is like one of the pioneers of pole dancing. She's a really famous pole dancer. She danced with Cirque du Soleil, and nothing in my life has made more sense than what I saw. A lot of people are very easy to think like pole dancing is just, they associate, and it's rightfully so, like with just being a stripper. And that's fine. I think there's nothing to be ashamed of it. Like there's nothing I cherish that, So, but what people don't know is way more technical and complicated than it is. And it's technical, it takes a lot of work to do it. It's hard. A lot of people think it's just like cute, easy, you get on the pole and you do a spin. No, it takes a lot of work. Like it takes time to make it look beautiful and to make it look like it's an art form. It takes a lot of struggle. I didn't just walk in and I was it. I was a lot of sweat and tears and a lot of like hard work that I had to put behind. And, with that comes like, it's a lot of work that we have to put behind it. And people kind of brush off of that, just like, oh, you're just being sexy. No, it's an art form. Growing up as a ballet dancer, which is, those are my roots. I was a ballerina, and you grew up with a lot of prejudice towards your own body. A lot of shame because I have curves and I'm not like the norm that, as a ballet body type that we see. I had eating disorders growing up, so I grew up very ashamed of how I looked. I thought I was too much and not what we wanted. And so with pole dancing, I had to face who I was, and you have to use little clothing because of technical stuff that, you have to grip into the pole. And it's not just because like we're gonna be sexy, it's like, no, you really need the skin to like stick in the poles and make the tricks happen and do that. So like I have to really face myself and like love my body the way it is. So it takes time, but like I said, I fell in love with how I looked. I fell in love with how I looked when I was dancing. I honored my curves. I honored my muscles and what I thought it was a flaw, for me, it's like, I love it. It's like you cannot, don't try because you're not gonna go anywhere if you try to shame me with that. But yeah, I had to like face it and truly love it. And once I started seeing all this stuff that I could do, getting stronger and like really doing all these tricks that I would never thought I would be possible, that I would be like, that's impossible. You just forget everything. You're like, no, my body's capable of so much. I have to love it, and and I don't care what society makes it look like. Oh, you're too much. Like, no, I feel like I'm powerful, I'm capable, and this is the only thing that matters to me. When I started pole dancing, I wasn't strong. A lot of people are like, oh, you were a dancer, you do all these things. No, I was not. I was a dancer. I was a ballet dancer. That's it. But I wasn't strong. I had no upper body strength, no core strength. Like I had movement, and of course I understand movement. If I see it, I'll be like, okay, I know I can, but I just need to get stronger. I had to work really hard. I started doing a lot of fitness training. Just get strong. You already have the artistic, the background and whatever. Get strong, girl. Like you need to get strong. To become your own boss, you have to know who you are. You have to know what you bring to the table. Finding your niche. I know I'm a pole dancer, and I would always identify as a pole dancer, but I also know I'm an artist. So everything I do, it's surrounding all the aspects of me, which is I'm an actor and I'm a dancer. And and I worked in clubs. Like that's a big part of me. I worked in clubs for a long time, so I love being sensual, and I have to not be ashamed of that. You know, I love expressing who I am. Being sensual is a big part of my artistry, and I don't care. Like some people find it, you know, like I said, it's like a thing that people still trying to like get around it. Like, oh, how can you be so? For me, I have no shame. Like that's just who I am. So finding your niche, knowing who you are, and owning it. So this is who I am. This is what I do. I'm a pole dancer, and this is the way that I dance, and I love it. And you cannot tell me otherwise. So how do I? Yeah, I'm like you cannot. So how do I know my own boss? It's like taking ownership of that. With pole dancing, like I said, it's limited. You know, you dance in a club. That's a way to make money, and that's great, amazing. And then people do competitions. I don't do competitions. Not my thing. People teach. I used to be a full-time instructor. That's a way of making money. The way that has worked for me. I love performing, so that's one way. It doesn't matter where. And the other way is monetizing online. Post-pandemic, I was faced with the problem, how can I make money when I can't even go to a club and dance, or when the studios were closed, you know? So I used my platform, and there's websites that you can use, patrons, and there's different websites that you can use to monetize it. You know, you create a brand, you create an idea, you create films. Like I create my own photos and everything, like my own videos of myself. I have what I post, but I also have the things that I have on the side if people want to see, you know, more of it, you know? So that's a way of monetizing it. You monetize your art. It's important to know, like, of course, like people have had judgment. It's like we're not gonna, you know, forget that there's a judgment against pole dancing and freedom of sensuality, sexuality, and all of that. When they do that, you know, when you see an insult and everything, it's usually men when they feel intimidated by a woman. And I don't want to like make it sound like that, but it's usually has always been the case. Is when a woman is owning herself and very sure and like taking ownership of who she is. Could be men, it could be sometimes women, but like people find that's when some people that are like they have like an insecurity, they have like something that's it impacts them, you know, like it's kind of bothers them, and that's when they start insulting, you know. It's like, how dare you be so powerful, how dare you be so confident in this society that we are, you know, that we grew up, that where we should be ashamed of that. I'm like, you know, that's when they find it, that's when they do that, because they feel threatened by someone taking ownership of who they are, whether it's a man or woman. They feel threatened by the ownership of someone taking their power. Okay, it makes me a woman in charge, the fact that I get to do what I love, and I take ownership and pride in what I do. In this case, the art of pole dancing, like I'm a pole dancer, I'm an artist, and I can monetize it. I make my own money, and I'm independent, and I don't have a boss. I am me. I decide if I want to do this today or if I don't want to do this today. It's up to me. It's not up to anybody. I don't do it to please anyone. I do it to please myself. And I do it, I guide myself, you know, like this is how I guide me. If I don't want to do it tomorrow, I won't do it tomorrow. I don't do it because I need to. I do it because I get to, because I want to, you know. So that makes me a woman in charge.